Happy Friday, people. You're in the Beat Sessions. I'm your host, Mitchell Weary. Last Friday, pretty solid lineup of album releases. This Friday, however, October 22nd, my goodness, we have new music from Elton John, Lana Del Rey, My Morning Jacket, Rufus Du Sol, just to name a few. We'll be talking about all those albums later on the week. But you all know me. I love my 80s music. I love new wave, and I love funk. I especially love funk, and this thing is so funky. Duran Duran has a brand new album entitled Future Past. This is their 15th studio album, follows 2015's Paper Gods. It's been 6 years since we've heard from these gentlemen, but I'm really stoked that they're back. I was digging around for tour dates, nothing in America yet. I really want to see these songs live, though. So funky. This album was produced by Mark Ronson, so you can probably assume that that energy is there. I was digging around, looking at some other stuff as well, and there's this great quote from Brandon Flowers, and he talks about how he's a fan of the band, but he just talks about how they always sound so fresh. And he hits the nail on the head with that comment. There's just something about all of these songs. They sound so contemporary, so fresh, but also so uniquely like Duran Duran songs. Simon's voice is great on this thing. Vocal hooks are amazing. John Taylor, I've always loved him. He's probably my favorite thing about this band. I don't think that's ever going to change. And his performance on this record is awesome. Just absolutely amazing. Nick Rhodes, impressive on this record as well. I really enjoyed this album. And I know that there's another great quote that I saw from Moby, and he was talking about the Bee Gees syndrome, about how you get these bands that make excellent music, they sell records, and then for some reason they're just shunned. And I feel like Duran Duran, to some extent, is kind of in that category. I have friends that give me a hard time for listening to them, and I'm like, why? They're amazing. Listen to their music. Listen to this record especially. These are dark love songs, kind of liking lyrically what's going on there. The mood of this thing is just... It's just kind of got this dark romantic vibe going to it. All of these songs, for the most part, are great dance tracks. I think you're going to hear a lot of these remixed at some point throughout the coming year. And again, I really hope to see tour dates too, because I've never seen Duran Duran, and I want to see these new songs mixed into a set with some of their old classic songs, because they're just going to carry so well. We're going to start this thing off with the track list. Invisible is your opener. Get big drums to open this thing up. Just kind of builds into this funky new wave thing, and it's just a pretty clear example of what you're going to get for most of this album, really. There's a couple of slow jams, which we all know Duran Duran is capable of doing, and I love it when they do slow it down and kind of take that, considering how romantic this album is and how romantic they kind of are. They do fall into that new romantic category. So the slow stuff, it definitely works when they're, trying to back the pace off a little bit and control the energy. All of You is your second track, funky, bright hook. It's probably got the best hook on the record. I'm really loving Simon's vocal melody there and vocal hook there, really digging that. Give It All Up, your third track. Great appearance from Tuvlo on that, really digging the ambient, up-tempo feel of this song. It sounds like 90s house a little bit. I loved the energy there. And, a lot of this music, the electronic feel that Duran Duran is interjecting is got that 90s house feel, which is why I'm just loving this thing from start to finish. Anniversary, your fourth track, just this big bouncing bass. During the verses, you got this dark synth, but then the choruses hit and they're bright, they're funky. It's really a cool contrast in the song. That and All of You, those are probably my two favorites so far in this thing. Future Past, backing this thing off. You got a little bit of that slow track there, bringing down the tempo. And then Beautiful Lies, your sixth track, getting back into that, it's like this goth disco feel on that track. And then Tonight United, that I'm loving the combination of the two elements and the way Simon, especially vocally, is carrying the melodies on that track. Wing is going to back this thing up. It almost kind of feels like there's this like Spanish flamenco feel in what they're doing with the electronic element there. I was trying to put my thumb on it. I wasn't quite sure, but I dig the track. I think it's really great. Hammerhead, your 10th track, I'm going to skip Nothing Less. It's a good song, but Ivorian Doll is featured on that. Just back to that funky feel. More Joy is kind of this great slow builder that I really enjoyed as well. Great penultimate track. And then Falling is your last song that's kind of just giving you that great, just solid Duran Duran new wave sound. There's just so much to love about this record. I think that this is the type of record that you could start a new fan of Duran Duran off with this album. and they totally get into it, and they could totally get into the older music and appreciate that. I'm loving what's happening on this record. I'm really excited about it, and I hope you guys all enjoy listening to this album. Giving it a vinyl, please, for sure. Please like this video, share it as well, subscribe to the channel, do all those things that help me out, help me grow, and stay tuned for more album reviews throughout the week. We'll see you next time on the Beat Sessions.